A scatter plot is used to determine the relationship between two sets of data. Each dot represents an individual data point. Alright, so here we have three different examples of scatter plots. Sometimes scatter plots can seem to follow a trend, like either going upward or going downward. Sometimes they don't follow any sort of trend at all, they're just all over the place. When we created the temperature graph on our assignment for line graphs, it would have looked like this if we hadn't put any lines on it. If it had just been all the dots, it would have been a scatter plot that had like no correlation, right? And that just kind of means that the temperatures in that month were all over the place. There was no trend for the temperatures going up or the temperatures going down. It was just all over the place. So this type of correlation, when the dots seem to be in general going upward, this is called a positive correlation. And this one, when the dots are just in general heading downward, that's called a negative correlation. This kind of graph where the points are all over the place, this would not have any kind of correlation. So we'll just say none. It doesn't have correlation. Let's look at an example. The local snow shack keeps track of daily sales from selling shaved ices compared with the temperature at noon that day. Create a scatter plot using the data from the past 12 days, then identify the type of correlation. Okay, so we probably want to put temperatures all across here. And we're going to put sales up here. Looks like our lowest temperature goes down to about 50 and highest goes up to 80 something. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. So what if I counted by 5? So what if I made this bottom line 50? Oh, I'm doing temperatures this way, huh? So what if I do this line here? It could be 0. Sometimes we always wanted to start those at 0, but I'm going to start it at 50 and then just count up. So 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. I could have started lower because I'm going to get to all of my temperatures that far. So I had plenty of space to start at a smaller number if I wanted to. Maybe not at 0 unless I wanted to count by 10s, which would have been fine. Okay, and then for sales, it looks like our lowest sale day is maybe 185. And highest looks like it goes up to 683. So that means we need our sales to range between 185 and 683. I don't know if we should just start at 0 and go from there, or if we should start somewhere in between. I almost feel like it would just be easiest to start at 0 and just go with it. So 0, and then if I count by hundreds, do I need to count by hundreds to be able to get clear up here? Maybe? There might be a better number I could count by, but let's do hundreds. 200, 300, 400, 500. So that one would be 600 and then 700 up here. So again, I've got some extra lines based on the way I decided to divide this up. That's okay. Okay, let's go ahead and plot these points. So when the temperature was 61.5, so let's figure out where that would be on our graph, just a little past 60. I'm not going to worry about this being incredibly accurate. It's just approximate. So I'm going to go a little past 60 and then go up to where I think 325 might be and just put a dot. 53 degrees and 185, maybe about there. 59 degrees and $332. So maybe about there, because it's just a little bit higher than the one we did when it was 61 degrees, right? 66 degrees would be here, and that's at $406. I'm really not being incredibly careful about where I put the dots, just approximating. 74.8, so about 75 degrees, and 522. 67 degrees, so in about here, and then that one went up to 412. The previous one was 406, so 412 we want to be a little higher than that. So see, that other dot in the 400s was 406, so we want 412 to be a little higher than 406. 77 was 614, so 77 would be about here. 614 is up here above 600. 75.4, and that one's at 544, so maybe around here. And then 64.6, so approximately 65. That one's up at 421, maybe around there. 74.5, we have lots of 75 approximately degree days. That one had fewer cells down here at 445. And then 62.5 went up to 408. And then 81.3 was at 683. Okay, there are some approximate dots to represent each set of ordered pairs where we're relating the temperature to the amount of ice cream sold. Now, how many of you would have expected them to sell more ice cream on warmer days? That's exactly what happened. I guess it's not ice cream, it's ices, right? So that's exactly what happened. And this particular graph has a positive correlation. And what that means is as one thing goes up, the other one goes up. So as temperature goes up, the sales go up. Let's try spelling that out. Positive correlation. Maybe I spelled that wrong too. Does it have two R's and two L's? It has two R's, but not two L's. I struggle with spelling. So positive correlation, because as temperatures go up, amounts of money brought in from selling icy drinks goes up.